Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Alan Hathaway. I'm glad you joined me for this sermonette. I want to talk to you a little bit about the great gift and great responsibility. One of the books in the New Testament that has captured me throughout my ministry is the book of 2 Corinthians. It, in many ways, reflects Paul's understanding of the church, and particularly of Christian ministry, what we are called to as Christians in this world. Romans tells us a lot about theology, a lot about the work of Christ in our lives, a lot about our responsibilities in Christ. But 2 Corinthians talks to us about what it means to live as a Christian in the world and how we navigate that process. One of the things that Paul focuses on in chapter 4, verse 7 is the idea that we have this treasure in jars of clay, this treasure that God has given us, this work that He has done in us through Jesus Christ. It is a miraculous and wonderful thing that God has done for us in sending His Son into the world to die on our behalf. But that also demands of us responsibilities. When we're given a great gift, with that gift comes responsibilities. One of the most interesting gifts to me in history was the gift of a white elephant. And I'll be sharing a very interesting gift of a white elephant during the Reformation period. But I want to talk to you a little bit about that concept of a white elephant. White elephant is a fascinating idea. It developed in the area of India and Indochina, where the Asian elephant every once in a while produces a white offspring. That white offspring is seen as a gift of the gods, and particularly a sign of God's favor, the God's favor, and a sign of divine blessing. It is also seen as a proof of the justice of a ruler. Very often rulers would gift their nobles with a white elephant if it was born, and it was to be cared for and protected. Well, for a minor noble, that could be a very, it could be a bankrupting gift, because the care for that gift required a huge expenditure of finances to make sure that the animal was healthy and to make sure it was safe. And the fact is, you couldn't use it for anything. It wasn't, it basically got to take up room in your castle or whatever, and eat up a lot of food and take care of a lot of medical expenses, and you didn't get any work from it. So very often rulers would give it to troublesome nobles simply because they knew it would keep them out of trouble and keep them from creating problems for the king. So this idea of a white elephant has come into our culture during the back during the 1700s. It began to be used, but it has in the 1800s it really developed into the concept we have now of a gift or an item in our lives that is very extravagant but extremely expensive to maintain and does not produce anything of value in our lives. And that's kind of what a white elephant gift is to us in this culture, and what it's come to mean in our culture down through the ages. But this idea of gifting a white elephant actually came to Europe during the great trading period of the Dutch trading and the Portuguese trading of the early 1500s. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that during my message in service today. So I'd invite you to come and hear that. But I thought about this, the importance of a gift. Have you ever wondered about gifts? What's one of the most important gifts you have ever received? Why was it important? What made it important? More than likely, it was important because of the necessity of the moment, or because of the generosity of the gift. Those things are the things that drive the importance of gifts. We are told in the New Testament that our salvation is a gift from God, and that He also gifts us with abilities and talents to be used for His glory. That gift requires of us responsibility. It requires that we give our due diligence and our attention to the gift, that we share it out. In 2 Corinthians, in chapters 3 through 6, the Apostle Paul talks to the Corinthians about the importance of this gift that God has placed in their lives. He talks to them about how powerful that gift is. But he also talks about what that gift gives to us. He talks about it being a gift of reconciliation that demands of us a ministry of reconciliation in the world around us, that we take upon ourselves the responsibility that Christ has called us to make a difference in the lives of people. He also tells us that we can no longer view people the same way that we viewed them previously, as a means to an end, as simply a way of fulfilling our own needs. We view them instead as creations of God that demand our respect and demand that we do what we can to minister and help them and reconcile them to God. So we are called to do these things. Now, we can either view them as a white elephant, a very expensive gift that we don't want to maintain and we don't want to care for, or we can use that to the glory of Christ, that we can make best use of this ministry of reconciliation. The Apostle Paul put it even more powerfully in chapter 5. He said, we are ambassadors for Christ, and God is making His appeal to the world through each of us. We are ambassadors. So this gift is a powerful and wonderful gift. It is a gift that lets us know how great God's grace is in our lives. And hopefully we can take and share that grace with the people around us that are so desperate to understand God's care and love and forgiveness in their lives. That's something that we need to do. We have a great gift. We have a great responsibility. Christ paid for our salvation on the cross, but He expects us to live in that grace and live in the responsibility of that grace. You have a wonderful week. God bless you. Hope to see you in church.